happiness isn't some bonus you get at the end, like if you struggle enough or if you work hard enough. It's not something you achieve your way into. Happiness is something you do.
When I was 13 years old, my parents and I escaped from what was then Soviet Union. We spent the next 3 months in a really large refugee settlement with hundreds of thousands of other Russian Jews. We flew into New York, I kissed the ground, absolute cheeseball, and then we flew to Detroit, where we would live in a settlement, in a housing project for a year.
And if we're always chasing goals, I love what you said about the fact that when we get there, we're actually not there because we're not there to experience it.
The most important thing you're doing in your life is what you're doing now.
The thing that we have to recognize is that being present doesn't mean, sitting in a dark room, meditating. That's one way. Being present is just paying attention to whatever it is you're doing.
Focusing on small positive moments that are part of our everyday has been scientifically proven to fundamentally change how positive we feel.
It's called Happier, and joining us today is the CEO and Chief Happiness Officer responsible for it, Nataly Kogan. Welcome to the show, Nataly.
We're coming to the United States and we land in the projects outside of Detroit in 1989 with $600 and 6 suitcases, 2 suitcases per person. And I was like, okay, the American dream is to be happy, so I'm gonna be happy. And the only way that I figured out how to feel that was anytime I achieved something.
And so for the next 20 years, I went on what I call the chase of my big happy.
I graduated from West with high and university honors. I got a job at McKinsey, became a venture capitalist at the ripe age of 24. Started a publishing company, was recruited eventually to work at Microsoft, ran a consumer team of a startup here in Boston that was very successfully acquired by PayPal. All of these things made me really proud. I still am so proud. I worked my butt off for every single one of these things, but none of them made me happy. I found myself pretty unfulfilled and also feeling really guilty. Like, why wasn't I happy if I've achieved all this stuff? So I started looking at the science, and what I kept reading in one research paper after another at first made no sense to me. That there's these very simple, scientifically proven practices that have been shown to dramatically increase our sense of emotional well-being. And this is what I call living fully. It's truly the ability to experience all the moments in our lives, the good and the bad. %80 of American employees say that they're either not very engaged with their job or not engaged in their jobs at all. 75% say they're stressed or overwhelmed at work. And the estimates vary, but it's somewhere around $450 billion is the cost of that disengagement and stress to the economy. People with a more positive outlook are healthier, have fewer heart attacks and strokes, they're more productive, they're more creative, they work better on teams at work, they're more innovative, they have better relationships. The list of benefits goes on and on. Consistently, researchers have found that companies that have overall more positive employees are more profitable. And so while I still was a skeptic, I decided to give it a shot, almost like an experiment.
What I learned really changed my life and changed my outlook, and I became inspired to start a company called Happier with one vision, truly one goal, and that is to encourage millions of people to stop saying, I'll be happy when, and to start saying, I'm happier now because.
I always thought the way to deal with negative emotions is to run the other way. So you feel stressed out, you run towards joy. But the thing is, you cannot run away from a pile of negative feelings. Eventually, it spills out. It got so big for me that it started to affect every area of my life. I'd only been focusing on one half of what it really means to be genuinely happy. I had never learned how to process negative emotions, to actually feel them and do something with them. I'd been collecting them from those days back in the refugee camp and in the projects. I didn't know what to do with them then, and so I ran away from them through achievements. And in a way, I was using gratitude and kindness and mindfulness as a Band-Aid on top of them.